Hey guys, welcome to another video. We're here on the AviationPro channel. As you can see, we have another pilot with us today. It's one, my mate.
Hi guys.
And he's going to be flying the 737 for the first time, I think, right?
Yes, it's the first time I'm flying the Boeing 737.
Yeah, so he's in the captain's seat, but I'm sure he will manage. We have the beautiful MCP to use the autopilot during the most of the flight.
That's right. Yes.
So I'll just tell a bit about the flight today. We're going to fly from Stuttgart to Hamburg, an event, the shuttle event organized by VATSIM Germany, or vacc-sag. They changed the name a couple of times, I think. But we're going to be flying from Stuttgart in the south of Germany to Hamburg in the north of Germany, and we'll just review our route a little bit. And this is kind of our briefing as well for you as the viewer, but also for both of us, right?
Also for the pilot.
Well, so we have our route which starts at Okiba, and it's only a very short flight for about 15 minutes, and we'll take a look at the weather at Stuttgart, the meters, and as you can see in the TAFs we have at Stuttgart it's becoming variable at 2 knots, so barely any winds, quite good weather, and we're gonna depart at 1820 Zulu, by the way, so and then we have at Hamburg we have the TAF, which the weather is not very good there. We have temporarily between 09 and 19 Zulu we have 250 degrees, 20 knots, gusting 30 knots, so it's going to be an interesting landing.
I hope so.
Broken at 1400 cumulonimbus, so could be some thunderstorms in the area. And we'll see what happens, right? So that's a bit of the weather. And then our routes for today, it's pretty straightforward. It's almost a straight line, as you can see on this map. So we'll travel with a nice tailwind today at flight level 360. And we have to turn on anti-ice during departure and arrival because we have some good amount of icing during our climb in descent. So that's a little overview of the route. We're now, let's see, 30 minutes before departure time, so we're gonna finish some things here in the cockpit. We're carrying 110 passengers today and quite a bit of fuel. Maybe we need to spend some time in the hold if we the weather
because
is too
of the
bad.
bad weather, yes, yes.
Or we have to divert. It never happened to me on VATSIM, but we'll see what happens. So it's always not wise to take a little bit of extra fuel with you. Okay, so we'll see you in a moment as we depart, and we're gonna finish up the cockpit.
So before starting this flight, I would like to take a moment to thank my patrons over at patreon.com/aviationpro for supporting me and for becoming my patron. I would like to thank Chris, Paul, Mike, Bud, Annette, Xavi and Frank for supporting the Aviation Pro channel. Your help is very much appreciated and it allows me to continue making these videos. If you would like to become a Patreon and get some things in return like early access to videos or participating in group flights or even getting personal flight training, head over to patreon.com/aviationpro and you can do your bit to support the Aviation Pro channel, and your support is very, very much appreciated.
So let's take a listen to the ATIS before we go over to our clearance. So we have 126.12 for Stuttgart ATIS.
Transition level 70. Attention. Departure frequency for all departing aircraft is 127.720. Uniform November Delta Longen Radar on fleet.
Oh.
Oh, that's
ATIS
weird.
is gone. Just now we're listening. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not showing up on the squawk box either, so they just removed the frequency apparently. All we know is that the departure frequency is 127.72, but I'm not sure either because I actually don't see that frequency online yet. So let's just wait a little bit. We'll try again in a minute. So apparently ATIS just decided to give up on us.
Is the delivery already online?
Delivery is not online yet. We
Not
have
online.
Tower North Approach.
It should be
ATIS.
online in 4 minutes.
Yeah, and think it's Bremen Radar. We also have Bremen Radar. No ATIS. That sucks. Yeah,
20
so.
minutes until takeoff.
Well, we're not receiving ATIS. Let's see if delivery comes online. I hope so. Oh, Longen Radar is online. That's our departure frequency
Yes,
for
that's
127.7.
awesome.
So I can
Now
set that. Oh gosh.
Now we're waiting on the delivery to come online, so we can request our clearance to Hamburg.
Yeah. But the ATIS is failing, so we don't have the latest. Well, we can look up the latest.
Schade.
Schade. We can look up the latest weather for Stuttgart ourselves.
I'm hoping for some thunderstorms in Hamburg.
That would be nice. Okay, current weather at Stuttgart is 290 degrees, 7 knots, so we have a crosswind from the right a little bit, so you have to push the left rudder pedal.
Left rudder pedal, yes.
A little bit, because it's not a lot. Visibility is good, scattered at 4,300, temperature 9er, dew point -1, QNH 1012, no significant change. And then the latest weather for Hamburg is 240 degrees, 12 knots, good visibility. Light showers of rain.
Yes.
Few clouds at 2,500. Scattered at 3,700. Cumulonimbus.
So there won't be any thunderstorms.
Cumulonimbus stands for thunderstorms.
Okay.
Thunderstorm clouds.
We'll wait and see.
7, QNH 1007. No significant change. So the weather in Hamburg is a bit worse than
in Stuttgart.
Stuttgart. Yeah. So, I guess we'll just ask clearance from tower if
that would be awesome.
delivery is not coming online. Maybe we can do a radio check first. Would be nice. Okay, let's we'll just do a radio check to check all the equipment, because I have a huge setup right now with a lot of wires. If you would see a photo of it, you would see a lot of
wires everywhere.
Everywhere. It's a big setup, just like a real cockpit, though, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a real cockpit, so.
Looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
With the MCP panel.
Absolutely.
Works great.
Okay, let's ask for a radio check. Stand 15, I think.
Yeah.
Stuttgart Tower, guten Abend, Airplane 220 Lima, stand 15, requesting radio check on frequency 118.8. It's working.
Here Stuttgart Tower, say again.
Stuttgart Tower, guten Abend, Air Berlin 220 Lima at stand number 15, requesting radio check on frequency 118.8.
Beetje slow hoger.
Say again, call sign.
Air Berlin 220 Lima.
Airline 220 Lima. I can't find you on my radar. Please report position.
Air Berlin 220 Lima, we are at stand 15. That's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not identified.
Roger, we'll look for a solution. Air Berlin 220 Lima. That sucks. So we had some problems with our connection because apparently filled in the wrong call sign in Squawk Box. But, we're now going to ask clearance from Stuttgart Tower and see if I can get the text ATIS for the latest information. Information Foxtrot. Okay, runway use 25. Foxtrot, and our departure is the. You can already see on this chart. We're going to be flying the Okiba for Bravo departure.
Yes.
So that means climbing straight out on heading 252, then a right turn and another right turn to the Luburg VOR, and then left to Okiba. That's Okiba for Bravo. Bravo. Runway 25, and all we need to know is the squawk code. So we'll just ask for that after this one. And Air Berlin 220 Lima with information Foxtrot stand number 15 requesting clearance to Hamburg. At That's it.
Berlin 220 Lima, stand by, I call you back.
Sorry. We have to wait a few seconds.
Yeah.
FedEx 49. Berlin 220 Lima, cleared Hamburg via Okiwa 4 Bravo departure, Flightplan route squawk 2156. Startup is approved.
Roger, startup approved and cleared to Hamburg for the Okiba for Bravo departure, Flightplan route squawk 2156, Airplane 220 Lima.
Berlin 220 Lima, read by correct.
Alright. So I'm just gonna turn down the ATC bit because otherwise we can't hear each other.
Yeah.
So we have our clearance right now from runway 25. We've reviewed the departure route.
Yes, that's correct.
And we can basically prepare the aircraft for startup. I'll just start up the APU. Okay. That's the gate moving away from the aircraft.
I know.
Always makes a lot of noise.
I recognize the sound from your other videos.
Yeah. So the next frequency after tower, we already can enter that in the radios. It's 127.72.
There's the pushback truck.
Yeah, nice. Let's see, our APU has started up. We'll let the APU take over. And we'll let some air in the cabin. Here we go.
Some fresh air.
Alright. All looking good. We'll already turn the anti-collision light on so that we can start our engines during pushback. Okay, I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cool.
Let's enjoy this flight.
Alright, let's take a look. So our departure time is 2020 local time, 1820 Zulu, so we're 4 minutes ahead, so we have a perfect departure time. So it's very busy on the frequencies. It's a lot of airplanes traveling to Hamburg and other and Airplane 220 Lima, request pushback.
Berlin 220 Lima, pushback approved facing east.
Pushback approved facing east, Airplane 220 Lima. Okay, nice. So we'll turn off the backs.
252 ready for pushback.
Alright,
Parking brakes released.
Okay, start
and then we're going to start our engine.
Take 017, Stuttgart Tower, good evening, stand by, I'll call you back. Speedbird 252, stand by
Okay.
for pushback.
We'll start engine number 2 first.
92.
There we go.
Standing by, Speedbird 252, thank you.
Engine display, that's the one I want. And we're gonna add the fuel at 25% and 2. There we go.
Hamburg Jet 111, taxi holding point runway 25 via Mike India November Alpha.
Stuttgart is not a very big airport. Kind of like one way, just like Rotterdam. With a larger terminal, of course.
Yeah, that's
Start to cut out.
4 terminals.
Yeah.
Our stand is at terminal number 3. Stand 15.
Exactly, and we're gonna start engine number 1.
Leipzig Air 4001, taxi
Start
holding
number
point
1.
runway 25 via November and Alpha, hold short of India.
Has fuel at 25.
Yep. It's already dark here. Not here in the Netherlands though. But
It will be here in half an hour, I guess.
yeah, I think so. 25.
Felix 49er Tango, wind 290 degrees, 8 knots, runway 25 clear for takeoff.
Runway 25 clear takeoff, Felix 49er Tango.
Another Lufthansa.
Parking brakes are set. There we go.
Uniform Hotel, pushback approved, facing east.
Okay. So we'll let the engines take over. Turn on the bleeds. And some air in the cabin. And APU is off. So I think all is set. You can see
Taxi
already
lights.
one aircraft in front of us. Yeah. Taxi lights are on.
That's awesome.
Not sure my taxi lights are working. The last video I made, they were not working either.
Let's hope they will tonight.
Maybe you can check the flight controls for a bit.
Let's get 4001, continue taxi. Continue taxi, let's
Yeah.
4001.
And
I'll
the-
check the rudder.
Yeah, you'll track the rudder. No, all works fine.
Yeah. Cool. Auto brake RTO. And we'll set flaps at 5. If my flaps handle wants to cooperate, I think it's set flaps 10 actually. That should be flaps 5. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, all set. We can
Request
ask for a taxi.
taxi?
I think
That's
we're
okay.
going to taxi
taxi.
via
Mike or November or Sierra?
yeah, Mike India and then November or Sierra. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It's I think Sierra. We'll see. We'll just ask. Alright?
That's okay.
And airplane 220 Lima, request taxi.
Airplane 220 Lima, taxi holding point runway 25 via Mike India November Alpha.
Mike.
India, November,
Mike
Alpha.
India November.
Taxi to holding point runway 25 via Mike India November and Alpha, airplane 220 Lima. Okay, so we have the Alpha holding point.
So this is Mike India November.
Yeah.
And then Sierra.
All the way to the end.
Sierra?
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just taxi straight ahead. There we go.
That's okay.
So I'm in control of the steering tiller.
Yes.
Feels a bit weird to control it with my left hand.
I know. But it's way too complex.
Yeah,
Sit
is.
it on your right hand side. So now we both have control. Like
Exactly. And we're nice and heavy today.
yeah. Some extra fuel for the possible upcoming thunderstorms.
Left on November.
Yeah.
Stuttgart Tower, Lufthansa 5, good evening.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going well.
Stuttgart Tower, good evening.
And you can
Then-
already arm the all the throttle if you want to.
08 knots, runway
You
25.
can arm the all the throttle.
I'll do
This one.
this one.
Runway 25.
Auto throttle is set.
Flightplan route.
They all have Okiba for Bravo.
Everyone. I think everyone is flying to Hamburg because
More on a nice short flight in the evening.
and ATC at both airports, of course.
Yeah,
That's always
yeah.
good. Alright, so when we arrive at the runway and we've received our departure clearance, we have to turn on the landing lights, the strobe lights, and turn on the TCAS transponder. It's the only things we have left to do. Alright, that's going well. And I can see an aircraft on final there in the distance too.
Yeah. Nice.
Quite cool. See a lot of traffic. But that means we'll have to hold at the runway for a couple of minutes.
He's also waiting at the holding point.
Yeah, there are 2 aircraft waiting on the ground. There's one landing right now.
Stand by for pushback clearance, outgoing traffic behind you.
Yeah, I like that. Single runway operations always makes it a bit more exciting.
A nice highway next to the airport on the
Yeah.
left. I've been in Stuttgart a few times and it can be very busy there.
In real life,
Yeah, I've been there in real life.
awesome.
Some family lives there.
I don't think I've been there in real life. Maybe drove
will.
past it, but
Next summer holidays I will be at Düsseldorf airport, so
that's nice.
I have been there once in my lifetime, but I cannot remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a few years ago.
Uh-huh. Let's open the departure chart already.
There's another aircraft at final. He's about to land.
It's landing.
And we're behind Lufthansa.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Lufthansa or...
Then that's Lufthansa, I guess.
I think it looks different.
Taxi holding course runway 25 via
Not sure they have where the aircraft is not made.
November,
I don't know, I'm not sure.
It's disappeared in the grounds, but oh, you have to press the brakes a little bit.
I will.
Because of course I only have one set of rudder pedals, so
Oh, that was
we can go a bit
a
further.
bit too much.
I've only
But-
got one set of rudder pedals, so he's in charge of the rudder pedals, and I'll be in charge of the air traffic control. Because,
I'll try.
we can go a bit closer by.
Oh, it's not Lufthansa.
No.
Hamburg
Hamburg,
International, I guess.
I guess so.
Oh, that's,
There we go.
yeah.
Now we can take it easy, right? I think I need to turn on the lights here.
Maybe?
We'll do that after departure when it's
Yes.
calm. My taxi light's still not working, I'm not sure. It's I think it's all the way in the distance somehow.
Yeah.
I'll have to fix that sometime. Anyway, we can see the taxi line pretty well. I'm sure in Hamburg it's a good airport with taxi lights, so on the taxiway,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
How many runways does Hamburg Airport has?
Two.
2 runways.
Yeah. So you ready for departure?
We're ready. Yes.
No questions? No questions?
No questions.
Okay, good.
You explained everything very well.
I'm not sure if there's other traffic in the area. No, doesn't seem like someone is landing, so that's good.
There's no traffic at final.
Nope. And I guess we'll receive our departure clearance in a few moments. It seemed like it was just a Boeing 737 in front of us. It showed that
So
it'll
there
only
won't
be
be any
in 2 minutes or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. Not sure why it's putting so much time between aircraft.
I don't know. There's a sequence of 5
Maybe
aircraft
it's
behind
because-
us.
Yeah. Maybe it's because it's VATSIM. Ah, wait.
Can give us clearance.
This is how you get delay in the real world. So,
Yeah.
just put the engine start switches to
But
continuous.
the air traffic controllers at Schiphol are very nice.
Yeah.
4001, route 280 degrees, 6 knots, runway 25, cleared for takeoff. Bye bye, have a nice flight. Runway 25, cleared for takeoff, here 4001. Danke service, Fabian, das klappt schon wunderbar.
Why is he clearing someone for takeoff? Stuttgart Tower, Berlin 220 Lima. Why is he not?
I don't know.
I'm not sure why he's not seeing us or something. Stuttgart Tower, Air Berlin 220 Lima.
Air Berlin 220 Lima, Stuttgart Tower, you're the next one for departure.
Okay. Roger, Air Berlin 220 Lima. I have no idea which aircraft actually was in front of me. Maybe he also disappeared in the grounds, could be.
I don't know.
Oh gosh. I'll
It
turn
doesn't
on the
matter.
lights.
Yeah.
So I hope we can depart soon. Should be number 2. It's kind of a problem if you can't see other aircraft if they disappeared in the grounds.
Air Berlin 220 Lima, line up runway 25 and wait.
Line up runway 25 and wait, airplane 220 Lima. Alright. We'll turn on
Lining up on runway 25.
landing and strobe lights and take gas. There we go. Nice runway. If you can press the brakes for me.
Yeah, of course.
Nice. Parking brake set. Stuttgart departure 12505. Okay. Well. Now we'll just wait for takeoff clearance.
Berlin
Yes.
220 Lima, wind 280 degrees, 6 knots, runway 25, cleared for takeoff, bye bye, have a nice flight.
Clear for takeoff, runway 25, airplane 220 Lima, bye bye. Alright, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, I'll set takeoff thrust for you. It's passing to 40%.
It's 40%.
And set takeoff thrust. Thrust is set. $80 knots. Bit right rudder. Bit right rudder, right rudder.
Hotel, 900-runway 25 await. Info model, 900-runway 25 await.
V1 rotates.
Rotates.
Alright, positive rate.
Gear up.
Alright. Put the nose a bit lower. 20 degrees.
Yes.
And we'll switch to departure. Autopilot on.
Autopilot on.
I'll leave the... There we go. And LNAV. And level change. Stuttgart departure, good Abend, airplane 220 Lima, passing 2,800 feet on the Okiba 4 Bravo.
Berlin 220, Longen Radar. Identify, continue climb flight level 90.
Continue climb flight level 90, airplane 220 Lima. Alright, we'll set flight level 990. You can see it was hard to keep the aircraft on the center line, right?
Yes, it is.
900, like that, 9,000 feet.
9,000 feet.
And we'll increase the speed a bit.
Yes. Oh, there was some crosswind, right?
Yeah, there was crosswinds. Alright, very nice. We'll put the gear to off.
This is our chart.
Okay. Now we're nearing flap 1 speeds. There we go, nice turn. Now we'll put flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Great. And what you kind of have to do is like keep the heading buck in line with our
339.
routes. For example, I'll just move it a bit this way. And we'll move to the standard QNH.
Yeah.
And we'll further increase our speeds.
Hotel 168, 9 turn right, heading 280 degrees, cleared as approach 25. Welcome, 280 degrees, cleared as approach, runway 25, flight erratic,
And we'll put flaps up. And we'll select VNAV vertical navigation, which keeps the speed at 230 or 250 knots for the time being. So we're passing flight level 100. And we're turning now almost right to the Lima Bravo uniform. You are Luburg.
Latica.
Luburg, yes.
Yep.
Latica 4001, no further ATC available switch, Unicom on to True Dispatcher Look.
And of course Stuttgart is a big city as well. Very big city.
It is, yes.
Berlin 220 Lima, continue climb flight level 140.
Continue climb flight level 140, airplane 220 Lima. Set flight level 140.
140. And our heading will be 053.
Yeah, just estimate it. Just doesn't really matter. It's fine. Move it a bit. It's climbing yet, so I'll use level change. And then we'll go back to VNAV. Speed. Okay, great. Well, it was a smooth departure. think.
It was? Yes.
Not a lot of turbulence yet. I think we forgot to put the anti-ice on though. Well, we survived.
We did. On the
Anti-ice,
arrival we will
we'll
put it
just
on.
Turn it on just to be sure, to prevent icing problems from the wings, of course. And we're climbing to 40. And we're gonna increase the speed now. And I think our next frequency is gonna be Longen Radar on 1 to
Airline 220 Lima, proceed direct to Kiba.
To what?
Okiba.
Akiba? Proceed direct to Okiba, airplane 220 Lima.
That's nice.
Fair enough. Okiba. It helps to shorten the route a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
It also displays the time until you're reaching Okiba, right?
Yeah, should display
I'll remember.
the next
I'm not
page.
sure.
What was that?
I don't know.
Uniform Hotel, Longen Radar identified, continue climb flight level 90.
1852, 3 minutes.
Ah, I can see, yeah.
Airline 220 Lima, contact Langen 127.72, 5, bye-bye, good flight.
Contact Langen 127.72, airplane 220 Lima, bye bye. Alright, we'll switch to Longen Radar. Longen Radar, guten Abend, airplane 220 Lima, flight level 140, inbound Okiba.
Airline 220 Lima, Langen Radar identified, climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, airplane 220 Lima. 360, that's our cruise altitudes. I'll just select level change.
Airline 728, taxi to gate Alpha 5 via Alpha.
360,
Flight level 6.
select VNAV.
VNAV.
Yeah. And we'll just climb to flight level 360. As you see, a bit of clouds up there.
I'll switch to the other chart, our flight plan.
Yeah. So it's only a very short flight,
Mexico 4001.
and I'm not expecting too much trouble on this route.
I
We'll be
I
quite
hope so.
busy. We'll be
Yeah.
quite busy at Hamburg, I think, because as you could already hear at Stuttgart Airport, there were a lot of aircraft departing. So it's always good to depart early, so you're a bit ahead of the stream, if you can. And yeah, it's of course fun to fly with 2 pilots this time, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
First full VATSIM full flight video with 2 pilots on
yeah,
board.
I mean, we flew on VATSIM before.
5 years ago, you
5
told
years
me
ago we flew
yesterday.
on VATSIM. But it was like in the afternoon, but never like in big flights in the evening.
No,
So,
no.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
great.
we can do a transatlantic flight one time.
That would be great, yeah. To cross the Atlantic. It
But
was a
of course-
cross the pond event a couple of
Yeah. But the
days
short,
ago.
this short flight, for example, is also nice.
Yeah,
So it's quite busy and you have to do a lot. That
Exactly.
makes it more,
Yeah,
it
well,
makes it great.
for the moment we're still climbing.
Until cruising altitude.
It'll take a while before we reach our cruising altitude. We're taking it easy.
We're at Okiba right now.
Contact Langen Radar 125.05, bye-bye.
So we're flying the 737-700 this time. We usually fly the 800 on my flights, but
This cruising altitude
it's a bit shorter.
won't take that long, I guess.
No, well, it's
Maybe
we can take a look at the progress page in the FMC.
25 minutes.
To top of climb 1904 Zulu, so that's like 12 minutes,
Yeah.
95 nautical miles to go. It's all set. I think we can turn the anti-ice off. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to put them on
During
when we're
descent.
descending.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and landing lights off as well. Gear is off, auto brakes are off, and we're all set.
Enjoy.
Cool. And now it's just a matter of climbing and waiting until you descend again. And that's the whole idea. Let's take a look. Where are we? Oh yeah, Hamburg approach is a line, tower and ground, so that's fine.
That's nice. That's good news.
A lot of ads on this app. But I'll just make a screenshot so you can see. Maybe we can take a screenshot with the iPad instead. There we go, there we are. See some other aircraft there.
Yeah.
Traveling the same direction.
You have to crop it.
Yeah, I will. Alright, nice. And it's quite
It's
busy
also
in Europe
busy
today.
at Amsterdam, right?
And in Eastern Europe as well. Yeah.
Beautiful Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport.
It's nice and full. It's all of Europe. It's Northern Europe, Eastern Europe.
It's all busy.
It's nice and busy. It's good to see.
Yeah.
Cool.
In Czech. Oh,
Slovakia as well,
Yeah.
and Vienna is online.
Vienna.
Yeah. That's
Ah,
perfect.
we're approaching our cruising altitude.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. And we have a very big tailwind, 80 knots at the moment. So we're speeding up the flight nicely. So I guess it won't be a long. So when we reach our cruising altitude, we can kind of immediately review our arrival route into Hamburg.
Maybe we can check the weather at Hamburg.
Yeah, we can check the weather. Once we reach our cruising altitude, we can check the weather at Hamburg, and then we can also check our approach charts. It should be a pretty straightforward approach. So now it's just sitting and waiting, basically. We're nice on time, I think. You
Yes.
can already see check the progress page. Estimated arrival time is 19:40 Boogaloo, so that's like 10 minutes later than
We
expected. But of course we had to wait for
had to wait
at the runway,
on the
and then
disappeared aircraft.
and then we had to had some technical difficulties at the beginning, which always happens when you're making a video. That's a bit.
Especially this one, because it's very complex with all the technique and wires, and
Yeah.
you have to split the sound
I'll include
until
a photo with all the wires and stuff.
there are two headsets
Nice.
instead of one.
Yeah, exactly. And we are reaching our cruising altitudes.
Handling 1028, proceed direct top to Tango Oscar Sierra Tango uniform. Thank you.
Not sure if we're gonna receive any direct. Not really necessary because our route is almost
It's already straight.
So, alright, level 360. The airports in the area. Yeah, you can see our top of descent already right here. Just
Yeah.
show with the mouse, so our viewers can see it as well. So we can already take a look at the approach.
That's
I'll
right.
have the FMC. So if we take a look at the
I got the approach chart here in
transition
front of me.
for runway 23, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna arrive. Our final waypoint at our flight plan will be Nolgo, and we have to cross that waypoint at flight level 110 or below, which is also on the chart, and then we'll just follow the route. Follow all the Delta Hotel waypoints, make a left turn to intercept the localizer for runway 23. It's like any other transition you can expect in Germany.
Yeah.
And we'll descend on the way. I think we have to be at approach fix at 3000 or above. Let's see a look. Yeah, Pisas. Say Pisas on the chart.
Pisas is here. Yeah.
And we have to be at 3000.
Pisas
That's when we're going to
3000.
start our
yes.
descent. Let's go to the ILS chart.
The ILS chart, that's this one, I guess.
1923.
Or this one.
Let's see what's called ESA ILS.
This is the ILS chart.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Let's take a look. So we start our approach at 3000 feet.
Yeah.
Pisas. Course 228. Just enter the course here as well, 228.
I'm a radar leaving after
28. Our minimums for this approach
Longen Radar
is
identified
84.
flight level 70.
Well, I think we can take category 1 actually.
Level 370,
237. Let's have a look. No. Put that at 1007. 237. So that's the point where we're gonna decide whether we go around or not. And then
I hope we don't have to.
I hope so. Then the approach is pretty much straightforward, right? It's
It is, yeah.
After 017 flight.
There are no obstacles.
you want to do an auto land or a manual landing?
Maybe manual land,
Yeah?
I can try.
Okay, so then we just use category.
Berlin 220 Lima, contact Bremen Radar 125.
Maybe with the manual landing we have to go around, but
Contact Bremen Radar on 125.025 for airplane 220 Lima. So we can go off the frequency.
maybe with the manual landing we have to go around, but we will see.
I can take over, right?
Yeah, that's right. You have enough
Bremen
experience.
Radar, guten Abend, airplane 220 Lima with your inbound KMAT, flight level 360. Shouldn't have said which.
Station calling Corvin again.
Airplane 220 Lima.
Berlin 220 Lima, Bremen, hello, identified.
Alright, that's all we need to know. So we'll take a look further at the ILS charts.
Berlin Mike, thanks for cooperation.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. In the case of a go around, we'll climb straight ahead to 5.5 nautical miles from the ILS. And then a left turn towards the Hamburg VOR. So we'll just tune that in the radio as well. Hamburg. 113, that's 110. And then when we vacate, we'll just take the ground charts.
I got them here. The ground chart.
So we'll land on runway 23.
Yeah, right.
And we're probably going to vacate somewhere at November or Mike.
Mike, maybe.
And then taxi to one
We
of
got
the
a lot of
aprons.
fuel.
Take to apron 1. So via Lima, Sierra to apron 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then parking, I'm not sure which gate we'll receive, but I guess it could be actually on apron 2. Maybe that's like the cheap apron for cheap airlines like Air Berlin.
They're not as cheap as Ryanair. Now we're approaching our top of descent with 32 knots of tailwind.
Yeah, it's 40 miles away our top of descent, so
We'll be there soon.
yeah. So if we don't receive descent clearance, we'll ask for ourselves. 1944 Zulu and plenty of fuel. Maybe we can check the ATIS at Hamburg. I think it's online. Yeah, it's online. I'll just check ATIS, text ATIS. So the wind is 240 degrees, 12 knots, so just a very slight crosswind, not that much. Light showers of rain. Few clouds at 2,500. Scattered cumulonimbus at 3,700. And QNH 1007, we already have it in there. And the runway issues is 23. So we have that right.
Yeah.
And transition level is 70.
70.
That's the point where we're gonna move from our standard QNH to our local QNH. Alright, we can put that in there. There we go. So, it's quick, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's quick.
Few minutes until we reach our top of descent.
Yeah.
904 for flight 50.
Yeah, the frequency is constantly busy.
Yeah.
That's good.
But there were 5 aircraft behind us as well.
What?
There were 5 aircraft behind us.
Yeah, so course, there's a lot of traffic.
Maybe there are more.
And we can turn off the center bumps, by the way. We don't need them anymore. So we're now just using the fuel out of the 2 wing tanks.
Yeah.
Nice. Actually, I have a flight attendant this time. To bring water.
Bravo, Bremen.
Nice. Thanks. We're almost reaching our top of descent, so I think I'm gonna ask for descent.
10
Descent, flight level 310, optimal Victor Bravo.
Airplane 220 Lima requesting descent.
Station calling, caution again.
Airplane 220 Lima requesting descent.
Wind 220 Lima, descent flight level 110, level at null go.
Null go.
Descent flight level 110, level at null go, airplane 220 Lima.
Hamburg triple 1, contact Bremen Radar 127, .67 für eine Landung, ciao.
110, all the way down to 110. There we go.
And the seat belts are right on.
Yeah, and we'll turn the NTIs on as well, by the way.
Yeah. That would be a good idea.
Just to be sure.
No, there was some
What?
probability, 100% probability.
Of icing at the flight level 160, I believe, so that's always good to counteract if you can. Alright, so we're descending already. So the star, of course, descends at flight level 110, starts at 110, the transition to runway 23, and so the air traffic controller basically directly gave us that altitude, so we can just descend there. So that will be fine. And we're descending pretty quickly. Might have to use speed, drag, add a bit of drag. See, the FMC gives a warning, drag required, which is basically means you need drag to slow down the airplane. Because we're quite near our overspeed speed. And when the message disappears, you can stop the drag. Of course, adding drag on the wings is a bit uncomfortable for the passengers. So
It is.
they try to prevent that in real life as much as possible. But it allows you to descend faster and make sure you're on your proper track. And stay at a proper speed, of course. But with the tailwind, it's always a bit more difficult to
It is.
accomplish that. But we're nicely on our flight path, as you can see. This is our
Yes.
indicator for vertical flight path. And then
Oh, we can.
you can see null go already on the navigation display.
I can
It's
see
right
it.
here.
Yeah, right there.
There we go. So it should be fine. And we're also going to set the approach speed. 30 knots, or 30 degrees of flaps, and 133 knots. Did you have a pen there?
Yeah, I have.
Awesome.
Groningen Radar, speedbird 252 with you, flight level 20.
133. We'll add,
252 Bremen, hello, identify.
let's see, what was the wind again? 24012, we'll add 5 knots. 138, and 30 flap landing, just level 70, runway 23, and Nolago 23 transition. Okay. Nice. And we need even more drag, as you can see.
It all worked fine.
Beautiful, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A lot of work, but everything works fine.
Yeah. Once you have it all set up, it works fine.
Don't forget how
I did it,
how
yeah.
you set up.
And there's still some things I have to fix, like with the backspace problem.
The backspace
It's a
error.
weird problem that I had recently is when I'm in Flight Simulator and I try to press Alt. It gives this like ping, like this Windows alert sign that something is wrong. And then when I try to type something wherever in Windows, the letter disappears immediately. So somehow the backspace is being pressed continuously. And I know it's not my keyboard because they should be working fine, and it doesn't happen when I'm not running Flight Simulator. So there's got to be some kind of problem in Flight Simulator which does that. So.
And don't forget to fix the taxi lights in the
Taxi
front of the
lights as
aircraft.
well. Taxi lights as well. But yeah, so if any of you know what that is, the backspace problem, then let me know in the comments because it would be much appreciated. We're still nicely on our track, and let's see what the current arrival time is. 1943 Zulu.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's good.
And we can see some of those clouds.
Maybe the real flight is also somehow delayed.
Yeah, we can actually take a look where the real flight is. That would be nice to compare very quickly.
The awesome Flight Radar 24 app.
Yeah, we'll just filter on Berlin.
Air Berlin.
Air Berlin. The real flight's being performed by an.
Oh, you got the satellite map, right?
Yeah.
Terrain.
The real flight's performed by a. Oh, it actually landed, or
It landed.
it's 0 feet. So I guess it has landed. Yeah, it has landed.
Oh, but
already.
it's 0 minutes ago, so.
Yeah, so it just landed. So the real flight didn't experience the delay that we had. So,
But that's no problem.
yeah. And we are now. Just let it update. And we're almost there though. There we go.
Right.
So. Okay.
Now we're approaching Nolgo in a few minutes.
Yeah. Do we need more drag?
Passing,
No, not yet.
Flight level 190 right
Runway
now.
220 Lima,
Oh.
contact Bremen Radar 127.67, ciao.
Contact Bremen Radar 127.67, airplane 220 Lima. Bye bye. 127.67. Oh yeah, that's like Hamburg approach, but then it's called Bremen Radar for some reason.
Straight 5, Sherry.
Then Sky 564, we said altitude 3,000 feet.
And altitude 3,000 feet on the sky.
Bremen Radar, goedenavond, airplane 220 Lima, passing flight level 175.
Runway 220 Lima, Bremen Radar, good evening. Information Charlie, current, descent flight level 70.
Information Charlie and descent flight level 70, airplane 220 Lima. Yeah, so we have Charlie. I
So
think
Sky 565 down the right, heading 180.
ATIS has updated a bit.
200, cleared, I know approach runway 23.
Flight level 70 is set.
And right heading 1
Yeah.
clear.
Check.
Hold runway 23 on the sky.
The wind has shifted a bit to the left, so a little bit more crosswinds, but for the rest should be fine. So actually it's my first time landing in Hamburg as well, so
Oh, for you as well.
Yeah.
Alright.
a lot of
Nice.
lights down there, and we can see the big city of Hamburg there.
Yeah, it is.
Runway 20 Lima.
We're almost above
Turn
Hamburg.
right,
You
heading
can see on this
020.
map.
Right heading 020, airplane 220 Lima. Okay, and I'll just lose level change now, for the time being.
Oh.
So at this point he's giving us vectors, which is cool. Actually you can just put in the headings if you want.
That's right.
And maybe set the speed to 240 knots.
240 knots. 240 knots.
ILS frequency is already in there.
Yeah.
At least it should be.
It is.
111.5. This one.
Yeah.
And the course 228
Course is set.
and 228.
On your side as well.
Oh, is that traffic? Yeah, quite a lot of clouds here. But we have a beautiful view of the city.
Yeah.
That's always nice. And I guess we can see some other traffic soon. So we have tower frequency 126.85 and ground is 121.7.
121.7.
Keep that in mind.
Airline 220 Lima, descent altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1008.
Descent altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1008, airplane 220 Lima. Okay.
Altitude 4,000 feet.
Check.
Tower 126.8, landing, bye bye.
And 1008. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
right.
QNH.
A lot of tailwind, right? 30 knots.
Still tailwind, yeah. Alright.
Airline 220 Lima, turn left heading 360.
Turn left heading 360, airplane 220 Lima. Yeah, wow, that's 360.00. Set speed maybe 220 knots. Just to slow down a bit.
Nice.
Airline 220, reduce speed 220 knots or less.
Reduce speed 220 knots, airplane 220 Lima. And we're already doing that. Maybe at some point when we reach 4,000, maybe we can.
Airline 220 Lima, descent altitude 3,000 feet.
Descent 3,000 feet, airplane 220 Lima.
3,000 feet is
Let's
set.
continue the descent for a bit. Then when we reach 3,000, I wanna try to reduce.
Airline 220 Lima, turn left heading 60 km, ILS approach runway 23.
So you got a heading for airplane 220 Lima? You broke up.
Heading 260.
Roger, heading 260 and clear the ILS approach runway 23, airplane 220 Lima.
260.
There we go. Already set flaps 1. Just to... oh, is it setting flaps 1?
Airline 220 Lima, your number 2 in sequence. Traffic in front is 7 miles in front.
Roger, we'll take a look for the traffic, airplane 220 Lima. I'll reduce speed a bit. 180.
That's good.
So there's other traffic in front of us. Since we're cleared for the approach, we of course want to keep some distance.
Some clouds in front of us.
We can turn the anti-eyes off.
Good evening, Top Bravo, passing flight level
And we'll arm approach mode.
Heading 060.
Thompson 1 Victor Bravo, Bremen Radar, good evening.
And you can set heading 228.
228.
Continue present.
Heading 228. ILS chart.
And we're capturing the localizer. As you see, we're overshooting a bit because we're still a bit high on speed. It's always difficult to slow down the 737. That's something we have to live with. Yes.
Yeah.
Standard radar, this is 252, rookie flight level 14500.
So that's going pretty smooth, right?
You're right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed 252, Bremen Radar, good evening.
The air traffic control in Germany is usually pretty good.
You are identified, descent flight level 70.
So we'll set flaps 5.
Flaps
Flaps
5.
5.
And flight level 70, speed 252.
Airline 220 Lima, contact tower 126.850, safe landing, bye bye.
Contact tower 126 system 850, airplane 220 Lima, bye bye. 126 system
220 Lima, 0 Lima, no speed restriction.
No speed restrictions, airplane 220 Lima. Okay, well then we'll just keep 180 for a while. Maybe we can increase even a bit. 200 and we'll go to tower.
Dann bei Traffic, Update auf in Charlie.
Charlie
In fact,
Virginia.
since we're already approaching the glide slope,
Yeah.
Hamburg Tower, good evening, airplane 220
Charlie
Lima,
Virginia,
ILS
traffic
25.
information, KLM, Fokker 100, M2 Meilen, Entern, Flugpiste 23.
That doesn't work.
I can see the glide slope.
Dann verkehr mich. Charlie.
KLM 704, traffic information, VFR traffic south of the field.
Inside KLM 704.
Cipher set. Okay, and we should be capturing the glide slope. Set flaps 10. Should we
Flaps set on
reconfigure?
10.
Hamburg Tower, good evening, airplane 220 Lima, ILS runway 25.
Wind 220, Hamburg Tower, guten Abend. Continue approach, wind 220 degrees 10 knots, number 2.
Number 2, airplane 220 Lima.
No,
Okay, so we're number 2 on the approach.
we're at Pisas.
Yeah,
2,500.
2,500 feet. And we can put the gear down.
Gear down.
Sets the flaps to 15. Yeah, we've set flaps 15. Okay, perfect. So you want to do an auto land?
And the last part we can do it manually.
Yeah, sure.
Wind 220, wind 22, correction, wind 210 degrees 9 knots, runway 23, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 23, airplane 220 Lima. Okay. So I'll reduce speed to final approach speed. 138. And
Wind 220, wind 210 degrees 9 knots, runway 23, clear to land.
clear to land, runway 23, airplane 220 Lima. I'm not sure if he's receiving me. I hope so.
Wind 220, Hamburg Tower.
He's not receiving me somehow. Airplane 220 Lima.
Wind 0, clear to land, 23.
Oh, it was runway 23. It's runway 23.
Charlie Golf India Delta Mike.
I said 25, but it's not runway 25.
It's 2-3, yeah.
Okay, wanna do manual landing?
That's okay.
Okay, then you're flying. I'll switch off the auto throttle. And I'll do the throttle for you.
That's okay.
Just check if you can hear me.
KLM 704, very far to
A bit low.
I can see the lights.
Just turn a bit with you.
Flight 500.
A bit low.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
I can push nose forward. Just follow the flight director like this. There we go.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Nose down a bit. There we go.
$100.
And we'll almost flare.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oops.
Oh.
That's bouncy. There we go.
Not the most comfortable landing we ever made.
I forgot to arm the speed brakes again. I have to push right rudder. Just for now.
Yeah.
There we go. But for a first landing in a 737,
It's not that
quite
bad.
alright.
I'll have to practice a lot.
Let's see if we can exit here. No, we'll take the next exit.
I have to take exit. That will be November, I guess.
Oh, right rudder, right
yeah.
rudder, right rudder.
I got it.
And brake with your feet. So we can make that exit. Brake with your feet. Yeah. There we go. I'll turn left here. And I hope you can hear us. You can release the brakes now.
Yeah, I got it. I released.
Phew! We made it!
Not that bad.
And Hamburg Tower, airplane 220 Lima.
Airplane 220 Lima, welcome to Hamburg, taxi left via Lima and Sierra Cross runway 33, other side apron number 1, listen, ciao.
Roger, taxi via Lima and Sierra and contact apron on 121.7, airplane 220 Lima, bye bye.
Lima.
So now he does hear us.
Sierra and then to the first apron.
So we'll contact 1217.
10-5 on line 3, line 1, line 4.
There we go.
That is open.
Alright.
Maybe also gate 15 here. Stand
Hamburg
one.
apron, airplane 220 Lima, vacated runway 23. Keep saying 25, not sure why.
KLM, go ahead.
What? Hamburg apron, airplane 220 Lima. Apparently he's not perceiving us.
Airplane 220 Lima, taxi to stand to gate number 7 via Lima, cross runway 33, Sierra, line 3, line 1.
Roger, taxi to stand number 7 via Lima and cross runway 33 at Sierra, airplane 220 Lima.
It's gate number 7, that's terminal 1.
Yeah, I can see it. That's line 3, okay, that's fine. So, bit of a hectic landing on final approach.
Yeah.
But we made it alive, I think. It's always difficult when you're first flying such an aircraft to keep hold of the rudder. And,
but for the first flight...
For the first flight was pretty good. And we're gonna cross runway 33 in a few moments.
Yeah.
And I still don't have taxi lights, I think. No.
Not
No,
even
I don't
in
have
front of
taxi
us.
lights. That sucks. Then we get the skill of parking the aircraft. That's just all about...
I'll take care of the brakes.
Yeah, using the brakes and making sure that you stop at when it says stop.
I will.
That's it. So we're approaching runway 33, I think it's clear. Nice lights at this airport as well.
Yeah.
Just turn off the auto brakes for a second. And there's some other aircraft on the ground as well. Here in the distance.
There's also an aircraft at final.
Yeah, there's an aircraft landing, awesome. Not sure why he's landing at that runway. Oh, that's runway 25.
23.
23. I keep...
Oh, nice.
Nice, there we go. Okay. So straight ahead
In a
on
few
line
moments
3.
we'll make a right turn.
Then we'll make a right turn. Stand number 7. So if you give me a little bit of brakes.
Yeah, of course.
Slow down a little bit. Yeah, that's enough. Let's see. Oh, that's a KLM
nice.
City Hopper. And we'll have to take stand number 27. Or 7, sorry.
This is for number 7.
I'll make sure it's aligned and you can press the brakes very carefully.
I will.
We can take more. So we can see it moving back. Just let it roll now.
No, it's a bit too early.
And I can just apply full brakes when it says stop. That's all you have to do. Yeah. Alright, I'll set the parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Some lights on here. We'll let the APU... Oh, the APU hasn't started. Then we'll call for ground power. Let's take a look. Ground power connects. And we'll shut the engines down. There we go.
The seatbelt sign can
first
be
landing.
turned off.
Yeah. We'll release the passengers.
That's
Anti-collision lights off.
and the gate.
There we go. And the gate should be applied automatically.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, there was our first flight together.
Yeah, how did you like landing the 737 for the very first time?
It was a bit difficult, but maybe I'll have to practice a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe during our next flights I can
Yeah.
land it smoothly on the
Absolutely.
ground.
I mean, it's always important to practice on flying your aircraft first before you're going to take it on to the VATSIM network. That's always a
And
good thing
thanks
to
to
do.
the very experienced pilot next to me, we landed
Yeah, exactly.
safely at Hamburg.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a nice flight.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it
the weather was
first
not
time-
bad.
Yeah, it was not bad. I expected worse weather because it said like rain, showers and rain and
Yeah.
thunderstorm clouds.
But maybe for a first flight, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
weather.
I'll just log off with the ground controller.
That's okay.
Oh, good idea. We'll take a sip of water.
815, could I have the taxi instructions again, please?
Boeing Thompson 1 Victor Bar was to EDDH, land visa after right, line 1.
Line 3 and line 1 to stand 15, Thompson 1 Victor Bravo.
Alright. And airplane 220 Lima is on the blocks. Thanks for the ATC. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, okay.
That was a short answer.
Alright. So there we are at Hamburg Airport.
Hamburg Airport,
think,
another full flight video on the VATSIM network.
Yeah. And yeah, of course the last video I made was already well, it was the mini VATSIM flight, which was intended to be mini, like from Groningen to Amsterdam. You might want to check that out because that contains like the SRA approach at Amsterdam, the talk-down approach, which is I think very interesting to watch.
It is.
Because then the air traffic controller really talks you down. It gives you altitude advisories and heading instructions. So kind of like the old school days. And of course, also make sure you check out my other VATSIM videos. There's a playlist right here, which you can view all of them, all of the tutorials and videos. Also check out my Patreon page if you want to support the AviationPro channel and get some great rewards in return for your support. You can check out patreon.com/AviationPro. And well, what else do we have? The AviationPro website.
Yeah, maybe they have some suggestions for our next flight.
Yeah, for example, if you
maybe in Europe, and yeah, if you enjoyed our first full flight together, give a thumb down, and yeah, maybe
thumb down, no, not thumb down.
no, thumb down, a
Thumb
thumb up, below the video.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
and then
That would
we hope
always
to see you
be
next
much
time.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay. So Podcast
Awesome.
will sign
Thank
off.
you for flying with
Right.
you, Captain.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay.